spend some time at the Great Plains Synfuels Plant and you'll witness a plant site in upheaval. But this upheaval is working toward one goal, to bring the plant to a goal its Chief Operating Officer Gary Loop has been working on for 5 years.
As you've heard from me from the day that I got here, we're on an ambitious goal to knock ourselves down from producing a product at $6 down to $5, and we had to do that before 2016 because we were going to be in a situation where we just couldn't be viable. And I'm proud to say this team has not only met the $5 goal, but we now anticipate that we'll be at $4.50, and we're continuing to find projects to do even better than that.
Co-products bring in money, especially when the price of natural gas is low. In October, the Dakota Gasification Company Board of Directors voted to approve a front-end engineering and design study for a new co-product and new fertilizer, urea.
We produce today 2 types of fertilizer, ammonium sulfate and anhydrous ammonia. One is a pure nitrogen source for the crops, and the other one is nitrogen and sulfur. We are adding, as you've heard me discuss, the urea plant, which will be a solid form of nitrogen, and it is easier to store because it's not solid, it's not an inhalation hazard, so we can produce it in the off-season, store it, and then sell it through the agricultural season.
If the preliminary designs are successful, the urea plant will be complete by late 2015 or early 2016. Urea production requires anhydrous ammonia made from natural gas and carbon dioxide, both of which are produced at the Synfuels plant now.
And so we're really excited about our urea project because that will allow us to use all of our ammonia producing capacity and greatly enhance our ability to sell our fertilizer products. It will become our 3rd fertilizer product, and we will become, I think, really in a better position to meet all the needs of North Dakota's farmers.
And while the capital investment for this project is $250 million, the rate of return on this project is 22 to 24%. And essentially, this would really mean that the cash would come back to Basin Electric very quickly. And that, I think, is a very positive takeaway for this project. The other thing to really think about a little bit here, and I've been associated with this plant since we purchased it back in 1988. And what this project essentially does, when you marry this project into DGC's 10-year forecast, it puts the plant on its feet, or positive, for the entire forecast period. And this is very important because what that essentially assures is that even with the plant running, it makes money, and it assures that the membership continues to get the economies of scale of the coal mine and all the other things that it shares with Antelope Valley and Leland Old Station.
The urea plant is the biggest and most recent of the projects at the Great Plains Synfuels Plant. But there are 3 major projects under construction right now: the tar oil stripper project, the anhydrous ammonia project, and the clean cooling water project. The tar oil stripper and loadout facility is the smallest of the 3, but it's on the fast track. The $19 million project started construction end of July this summer, and it will be complete in November. Rob Moore is the project manager.
We're taking the tar oil from the gasification process that used to be used as a boiler fuel and stripping off the light ends to make it marketable.
The product can be blended and used as a number 6 fuel oil. The tar oil stripper project should pay for itself in a year. In the anhydrous ammonia area, crews are adding a 2nd storage tank.
This part of the plant stores anhydrous ammonia and loads it out on truck and rail.
Matt Miller is the project manager. He says each tank can hold 30,000 tons, or 11 million gallons. Having additional storage will help the plant be able to have enough anhydrous ammonia on hand for farmers.
This spring and fall, when we have large demand for the agricultural market.
An especially neat day happened when the roof was raised on the 2nd tank.
We have a steel roof, and it has structural steel members inside. It's very heavy. And using just air pressure alone, we're able to lift that roof up, pin it in place, and then weld it in place.
Construction began in April this year. This $38 million project will be complete before next spring. The clean cooling water project is the biggest of the current projects at $77 million. Keith Harlstead is the project manager.
Well, this project is not very process intensive. It's pretty simple. It's just water and pumps and exchangers. but just the sheer volume and the criticality to our plant.
The Clean Cooling Water project spans almost the entire plant site and touches most every system. This project will save the plant $17 million a year in maintenance by avoiding outages.
The goal of the project is to avoid spring outages to clean heat exchangers that take us offline and limit our production.
Construction on this project started in August of 2011.
And we expect that the completion and commissioning to be during black plant of the summer of 2013.
In fact, the black plant was moved up 1 year to be able to tie in the Clean Cooling Water project. Ron Jorgensen, Tim Seidler, and Jerry Kramer spent many hours planning and preparing for this spring's black plant maintenance activities. Each half of the plant or train will be shut down separately. There will be an 18-day window when both trains are shut down.
Well, the black plant is when basically the whole plant is shut down, no production, no utility systems, nothing is running. In fact, there will be points where even some of the electrical stuff will be out, so even the lights in the offices will be out, computers will be down, so we'll have to coordinate all of those items at the most optimum time.
Besides the Clean Cooling Water tie-in, other projects will be completed as well.
The spray coolers are going to be replaced. Over the years, they've deteriorated to the point that they need to be replaced. There's just no repair available anymore, so they're going to be pulled out and replaced with new ones.
And in the Rectisol unit, the insulation on the towers will be replaced.
So we need to peel that all off and replace that with a new insulation that will be capable of handling the cold service.
Dakota Gas Marketing Manager Steve Liebelt says work done during the black plant will mean more co-product production.
The Clean Cooling Water project, which is being added to the plant, will add additional on-stream factor for all of our products. So we'll be able to have more products of all of the co-products, our crucilic acid, our phenol, our tar oil. All those materials will be having additional volumes which we'll be able to take to the marketplace for enhanced sales.
While Liebelt and the marketing group generally work in an office, they helped prevent a bad situation on the plant site from turning into something worse. One night in May, what happened in the ammonia heater could have been catastrophic. At about midnight, a tube broke in a top section of the heater.
Actually, there was just one tube that broke, but that's all it took to get that gas into the heater. It's about 1500 degrees, 1500 degrees, and it lit off.
Reed Dukart is Chemical Production Section Manager. Control room operators noticed the fire right away. The pressure spiked, the safety system set off alarms, the feed gas tripped, and the unit came down. Protection services came right away.
As they came out with their fire truck, they started wetting down the adjacent equipment to keep it cool, to make sure that didn't have any heat-affected zones to it. And they got the basically it contained and barricaded off so that there's no danger to the rest of the people or the equipment.
Dukart says it's because all the systems were in place. People did what they were trained to do. The fire was contained quickly.
And the fire would have kept building and building. They easily could have started melting parts of the structural steel, degraded the integrity of the vessel itself. We could have had joining pipes also break.
While the employees saved the day by containing the fire, they couldn't help the timing. Remember, this fire happened in May during the busiest time for anhydrous ammonia sales. Dakota Gas wants to be known for its reliability as a supplier that treats its contracts very seriously. Steve Liebelt and staff looked at inventory right away.
When we looked at our position, we saw that we were not going to have enough material to fulfill our obligations. We then went out into the marketplace and purchased additional ammonia to fulfill those requirements that those customers had of the material we sold to them for spring deliveries. We were able to get the materials delivered on time and on a weekly basis.
While the reliable sale of the Synfuels plant co-products is important, so is the safe and responsible handling. For the past 5 years, the Synfuels plant has been a responsible care company, certified through the American Chemistry Council. It's a voluntary program. It helps the plant achieve improvements in environmental, health, security, and safety performance. The levels in each of these areas are better than required by the United States government. A report is published every year detailing the Synfuels plant's goals and is available to the public. And big news came for the Synfuels plant this spring when its Title V operating air permit was renewed by the North Dakota Department of Health. The renewal is required every 5 years. The renewal process takes about 18 months, and the new permit is good until March of 2017. The Great Plains Synfuels plant has had a busy year, and Gary Loop says that's good news for everybody.
It's been a really great year at DGC. The folks out there have come forward and put in place numerous projects that you've heard about here this morning. But we're really excited. It'd be tar oil to sell that and make money, to add an ammonia tank, hopefully add a urea system, and then last but not least, clean cooling water, which allows us to reduce the number of outages that we have each year. All of these things put us not just to our $5 goal, but well down into the $4.50 range. I see a viable company well into the future, protecting the jobs of all of our people and continuing to add value to our community.